today. It all starts weekday mornings at 4 a.m. on News Channel 4.
As a culture, we try to look our best. Many American women wouldn't even think about leaving the house without makeup, hairspray, lotions, you name it. But could those chemicals in the makeup, plastics, and other household products be contributing to early menopause? Researchers from Washington University studied the blood and urine of women for over 100 chemicals that may interfere with our natural production and distribution of hormones. They found evidence that women with the most chemical exposure experience menopause 2 to 4 years earlier than women with lower exposure to those same chemicals. Dr. Pari Ghodsi is joining us now from Texas, OBGYN, and you're familiar with this study. Thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Where's the red flag in this university study?
Well, I think the red flag is exactly what you stated. This study looked at about 36,000 women or so in this national survey that had gone through natural menopause, and it looked at their blood levels of these chemicals, and it noted that women that had been exposed to higher level of these chemicals in their life and that was in their blood did go into earlier menopause. So these chemicals are affecting our hormone systems.
So if a woman undergoes menopause earlier, why would that be a medical concern?
Well, the hormones that are produced when we're premenopausal do help us in some way. There is a protective effect against our bones. So if you go into early menopause, then you're going to be more at risk for osteoporosis. There's also a protective effect against heart disease. So earlier menopause, you're at an earlier risk for heart disease. And I think the other thing is the implication that it's having on fertility. Because if you think about it, these women, if they're going into earlier menopause, that means they had less fertile years. And we have to think, well, what were these chemicals doing to our fertility in the premenopausal years?
And while you're talking about that, let's talk about young girls who are reaching puberty at younger and younger ages, it seems. Is there more than just a suspicion that chemical exposure is also affecting them?
There is more of a suspicion. There has been studies been going on since the 1990s, actually, that have looked at some of these chemicals and their association with early puberty and something that is known as precocious puberty, which is when girls undergo puberty at a very young age.
You know, it's common for women who are expecting to try to limit their exposure to all kinds of chemicals, whether it's in lotions or hair dyes or household cleaning supplies. Do you recommend all women try to reduce the products they use or buy chemical-free makeup?
You know, I think this is something that is a commonly asked question for me, and what I tell my patients is do the best you can. The bottom line is we can't avoid these chemicals. A lot of them are in our just daily household plastics, things we use. It's in the environment, it's in the meats we eat. So unless you're going to go completely organic and green and you're making everything and recycling everything yourself, it's hard to avoid. But I do tell people, if you can, try to avoid plastic things, drinking and eating out of plastics. Try to reduce the amount of chemicals in your cosmetics, and just do the best you can.
Dr. Ghodsi, we appreciate your time this afternoon and the insight. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Shooting pain in your lower back, has that happened in your hips? It's a common complaint for pregnant women. We'll show you new therapies that can help. And guess what? Wife of Thunder Girls trainee Steve Clausen just had a baby. Well, he didn't, his wife did. The exercises she counted on to stay strong and fight pain coming up next.
Beautiful day outside. I stopped the weather clock tomorrow at about 1:30 in the afternoon because that's when everything